branding. These are things that usually we don't think about when we first start. We just want to make money, we want to close deals, and we forget that our branding is our identity. The market changes, and the way that you market yourself changes as you grow with the business. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had 2 babies under 1, and I was getting bored of being home. I missed going back to the workforce, and I missed that adult interaction. So I started real estate school, and I got my license.
Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez, where we talk everything real estate. Today, my guest is Yo Lamar Lopez from Exceed Realty. Yo Lamar, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Pat. I'm really excited to be here.
Great. Okay, so I always start off shows by asking, how did you get started in real estate? So tell me your story.
Yeah, well, long story short, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had 2 babies under 1, and I was getting bored of being home. And I was chatting with a friend of mine, and I was telling her, I kind of miss going back to the workforce, and I miss that adult interaction. And she told me she had actually just got her license, and she invited me to come on board and kind of start a team with her. So I started real estate school, and once I got my license and I interviewed with the brokerage that I started with, I didn't really like the dynamic of a team, so I went solo. And here I am 8 years later, very successful by myself, and she's still very successful by herself.
There you go. Okay, so what does your book of business look like? You deal with buyers and sellers?
I do. I primarily with buyers, first-time home buyers to be exact, but I'm having repetitive business from past buyers who are now converting into sellers. So I do both.
Okay, and then how long have you been an agent?
8 years now.
Okay, 8 years. Okay, very good. Okay, so why don't we jump into the mindset of buyers? For me personally, it's been a slower year than past years, and I'm always trying to figure out, hey, what's going on? So tell me, what are your buyers telling you, and what's preventing them, or why are they jumping into the market? Can you elaborate?
It's been a slow year for me too. Buyers are really hesitant with the interest rate, with the economy. They're unsure where things are going to go. So a lot of my buyers or even my leads are hesitant when it comes to that. So it just takes a certain structure to kind of put them at ease, a certain conversation to get them to trust you, to trust the market and know that when there's an opportunity to kind of go for it, and having the grants also allow for that conversation to go in a direction where they're going to be more comfortable making that step. So.
Okay, now, do you see affordability as, like, what would be the biggest issue? Would it be affordability? I mean, you mentioned, grants, closing cost assistance, so there is money out there to help people get in if they're short of funds, but what are you seeing is the biggest issue if somebody doesn't quite make it? I mean, it could be credit too. I mean, there's a million reasons, but do you see any one theme, or is it everything?
A little bit of everything. But they have the savings. Maybe they're not comfortable with the monthly payment that's being estimated for them, or some of them are hesitant to overpay for a property. So it's a mixture of things for me.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because what I'm seeing is the sticker shock. People just don't believe, 200,000 gets me this, 250 gets me this, like they're sort of scratching their head. Or the big thing I'll get a lot is, I want my budget to be $2,000 a month. Oh, 2,000 only gets me this. So it's like, there's people who want to do it, but, a lot of people are just, they don't feel comfortable jumping in, Okay, so now I know you deal with a lot of buyers, but what are your sellers, saying? Is it the lock-in effect that they have a lower interest rate, or they don't feel comfortable, like saying, hey, if I sell, where am I going to buy? It's a lot of competition. Like, what are they telling you on that side?
Yeah, exactly what you're saying is the hesitancy that I'm seeing. Kind of like, well, my interest rate is so low, then now I'm going to have a higher one.
Right.
Or where am I going to go? Or the competition also for multiple offers for the property that they want to buy. So I'm noticing that those sellers who have an end goal, or they have a valid reason to why they want to move, relocating, or maybe they're empty nesters and they need a smaller space. those buyers, those sellers, sorry, are more eager to list their property because they have a goal.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Or they have a place. They have, hey, I have a house down the beach, and
Right.
I'm retiring, so I'm just going to live there full time. So I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Now let me ask you this, because I know you had several clients that put offers in, and there were multiple offers, and they didn't get accepted. Even in this market, and real estate's local, 100%. Heck, if you go to Florida, you could buy 10 houses, or Texas. But up here in the Northeast, yeah. Real estate is 100% local. But do you find that a big challenge? Is just enough houses in a certain price range, and you're getting beat out with other offers?
Definitely, definitely. I think that for me, the area, most of my clients are migrating to the same areas.
Right.
And in those areas, there's more competition than other areas in the city. So when it comes to having a pool of buyers and they're all looking in the same vicinity at the same price point, it just becomes competitive.
Right.
And right now I'm actually in a situation where I may be over the weekend showing the same property to two different families because this is the market that we're in.
Right. Now, let me ask you that's great. What do you say? Or you don't say anything, because if you have two different buyers looking at the same house, I mean, you have to play, straight down the middle, right? Like, how's that like for you? Like, do you feel funny or?
At first, I used to, and I've experienced this a lot, obviously during COVID, when
Right.
the market was very high demand. So because I've been there, I am very honest with them, and I say to them, listen, I am going to show the property to another buyer. Obviously, I owe confidentiality to you both. So submit the best offer that you can, and I kind of leave it in their hands. But I do make them aware that I am showing the property to multiple families.
Yeah, because it's funny for me, because on the lending side, I had two offers go out to the same property. I had the two pre-approvals, right? And and I sort of like, do I say something to the other client? Whatever, whatever. But yeah, you just have to play it straight down the middle,
And I think that it kind of may motivate them too, to know that, hey, I for sure know that there's another family seeing the property, and I for sure know that they may or may not submit an offer. So that may also kind of put a little fire underneath them to really be motivated enough to see the property and submit the offer.
Okay. Last question I have for you as far as that. Now, do you see over time, after a couple offers been out, and if clients get beat out, do they sort of get it, or do you see people saying this is too competitive, I'm stepping out, or both, right?
Yeah, I would say it's 50-50. I do have some clients who can become discouraged very easily. And after a couple missed opportunities, they're like, you know what, I'm going to take a break. This is too much for me. But then I have others who learn their lesson and tweak their offers moving forward. So, there's other places in their offer that they'll show some strength after a certain amount of lost offers.
Okay. So let's jump into coaching, because I know you do some coaching. Where did that come from? Like, what gave you the inspiration, the desire to say, you know what, I want to teach others?
Yeah. So when I first started in real estate, obviously I just came fresh out of school, and I didn't really have that foundation on how to get my business rolling. I had just black and white. I was very lucky and fortunate to start with a brokerage who did do trainings. So obviously that was helpful. But 5 years in, 6 years in, I noticed that my first year I spent too much time on bogus things, on things that I didn't really need to do to cultivate business. So when I thought of that, I said, I would like to coach and mentor clients, realtors who are just coming out of school, and maybe they don't have the guidance either at their brokerage or their mentor that's been assigned to them. So I started coaching agents in my office. I started coaching agents in other offices, kind of just advertising it on my Instagram, and it's been very successful. I coach realtors on core things to do to get business. So
give me one example.
Yeah, marketing. branding. These are things that usually we don't think about when we first start. We just want to make, money. We want to close deals. And we forget that our branding is our identity. So I coach on branding, I coach on marketing, I coach on strategies to farm a specific area that's going to showcase your strengths to that area. And I find that it's been, very helpful for new agents or struggling agents.
Right. Yeah, because you could be in the business for 10 years and just hit a brick wall,
Right. And the market changes, and the way that you market yourself obviously changes as you grow with the business. So with my, whole curriculum per se, I do teach different avenues on how this agent can become the spotlight either on Instagram, or either it's farming, direct mailers, or things of that sort. So it's a pretty diverse course.
Okay, now let me ask just one more question there, because you can't give out all those secrets, right? So, how long is it, or is it, saying, hey, I'll work with you for a month, or is it a specific program, or is it a combination of the two?
There's a combination. I do hourly trainings on specific topics. I am RPR certified instructor. So for those that don't know, RPR is Realtor's Property Resource, and that is a member benefit if you're a realtor. It's a really cool software to have and use. So I do hourly rates. I also do 4-week packages or 6-week packages.
Okay. Great. Okay, so if somebody wants to get a hold of you because you do buy and sell real estate, or if somebody wants to know more about your coaching, how would they do that?
So best way is Instagram at realtor.yolamar.lopez, or text or call 267-481-0194.
And by the way, we may be related somehow, but we don't know. Pat Lopez, Yo Lamar Lopez. Okay. Well, thank you for being on the show. Thanks for sharing. I always love talking to agents and, get their perspective and get their insights of what's going on in the market. So I really do appreciate that. Great. Okay, that's the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez. Be sure to follow the show on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to subscribe below. I'm getting to 30,000 subscribers. Help me get over the top, 30,000 subscribers. Also, leave a comment. Tell me some show topics you'd like to cover in the future. Remember, this show is everything real estate, no limits. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you.